first thing that we're going to have to do is make something called an armature. So something that's a general face shape so that we can lay the slab of clay over top of it. So I've got all these little, balled up pieces of newspaper, and you're going to lay them over a larger sheet of newspaper. I know you can't see the whole thing on here, but what you're going to do is sort of gather all of these together into a general shape of a face. So you think kind of that egg shape, all right? And we can move this around as needed. And then you're going to fold the newspaper over top of it. And then you are going to take tape, packing tape, and kind of go around the whole thing. The point of the packing tape is because once we put the slab over top of it, if we put the slab directly on the newspaper, it's going to suck up all that moisture. So you have to make sure that you get all parts of the newspaper covered with it. So you might have to go over it a couple times. But as you can tell up here, the face shape is somewhat okay. I'd probably want to bring this side in a little bit to kind of even that out. So all you have to do is re-tape over that side. So just kind of tape a little tighter to help you get the correct face shape. So at this point, you're ready to put this directly on a tray of some sort. I've got a couple, like those baking sheets, and you'll put that on top of the tray. You'll roll out a slab and lay it over top of this. All right? You want to make sure that it fits on all sides. And then you kind of form it to the face. And once you get that nice and formed, then you can trim off the excess that you have. And you can tell that on the back it's kind of gone over the sides a little bit. That's fine. We can work with this lower part later, because our main focus right now is just that general shape of the face. Now, if I look at this, had I taken the time to tape it, this side would have been in a little bit more. I probably would have brought this side in a little bit more to kind of match that. So just make sure that your armature is how you want it before you put it over top. So at this point, you are ready to go ahead and start building your whole face shape. Divide it in half down the middle and sort of cut it in half here to figure out where your eyes are going to go, where your nose is going to go. All right, so in general, if I'm making a human face, you've got eyes here and here. In general, the width of this eye should be able to fit in between the other two. So that's how you know how far apart to space your eyes out. That is just kind of a generalized thing. All right. Then when it comes to the nose, you want to do another line here about halfway down. This is where your nose is going to end. All right. So you've got that part of your nose here. You've got the other part comes up here. All right. So there's about your nose. Your mouth is the same way. You come between here and the bottom and divide that in half. And then you're going to have, lips in general about right here. If you're going to put ears, the ears go from this line here down to that line. It doesn't seem like ears should be that large, but they actually are. So I'll kind of just generally draw that out where those would go. At this point, you're going to go ahead and start adding on your extra pieces of clay. So we talked about that brow bone, the cheekbones, things like that. So you're going to get your clay. Just like we've done in the past, you're going to create your coils, and they don't have to be pretty coils this time around. You're going to be smoothing them in. All right? So let's start first with the eyebrow bones. Okay? Just kind of generally place that up there. So notice I'm outlining the eyes. A lot of times people put it too close to where the eyes are. And then let's do the main part of the nose. And then when it comes to the tip of the nose and the two nostrils, the easiest way to do it is to create 3 balls of clay. Notice the 2 nostrils. It looks really weird here, and that might end up being a really large nose. But you're going to go ahead and start here. But what we'll do, let's sort of take these off for now. What you're going to do is smooth in or blend in these coils to create your face. Now, if you didn't make a tight enough armature, if there's a lot of give to it, you're going to end up pressing in, and that's okay. We can kind of work with that. You just want to make a good armature to start off with. Now, if you get to this point and you think something needs to be added to the nose, anything like that, if it's not quite thick enough in an area, you could just add clay. It is wet enough at this point. You just add it, kind of smear it in. And obviously, if you're doing a creature, things will be a little different, but this is just how you make that face shape a little bit more three-dimensional so that you are ready. And right now, I think these cheekbones cut a little bit too in. So, like, I mean, it kind of goes down a little too quick. You can, same thing that I did for the nose, add in clay where you need to, but just make sure you're smearing it in really well where you're doing it. Like, I think this is starting to look a little better, because otherwise things are going to start to look a little too sunken in. All right. So there you've got that brow bone up there. That one's pretty good. The last thing with the eyes are going to be the thing where we don't necessarily need to add clay. I mean, depending on what you want to do, you might, but we're going to kind of smooth that in to make it more three-dimensional. See, I'm kind of at an angle carving away clay. And you've got, some people have got little, wrinkle lines up here, which you can soften as you work, It doesn't have to be quite as sharp as I'm doing it here. But this is just to give you that idea how to make the eyeballs look three-dimensional.